thing.
Before it got hot.
Before it got hot, you know.
It's kind of fallen off since you left.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna heat it up again for him now. When me and Martin first went there, it was like kind of a secret. Prince had a club in Miami called Glam Slam. It was as close to heaven as you could ever find on earth. It was pure craziness. Back then, yeah. You know, before the rules came in.
Really put Miami on the map.
Yeah, you know, that's my town, man. I was going.
What's going on right now with the former president's like arrest and the indictment and stuff like that?
You sort of get desensitized to it in a certain way. Like I'm pissed off about it, but I'm like, oh, they're gonna arrest me. Oh, you mean it's Tuesday? This is like the most ridiculous of all of them, and yet you still got to deal with it. You know, we lived in New York our whole lives, right? You hear people that do have sort of inside scoops, and they're like, dude, the DA's office there is like, like even like radical leftists within are like telling their friends who we know, like, holy shit, like I can't believe this is going on in America right now.
What's going on right now with the former president's like arrest and
Caitlin Clark, I saw got a Nike deal for like 20 M's.
Dude, but she's cold though, bro.
What are your honest opinions on her? Because some
I
people
never
said.
watched like her play until the tournament, and I was actually like in shock with how good she was.
You think she'd beat in a 3-point contest?
Nah, but it'd be good.
It'd be close. Caitlin Clark, I saw got a Nike.
Me and him have been working out every single day. Just us doing a bodybuilding competition, you're not going to want to look like a fat piece of shit.
Sure.
So we've been working out every day. So every day we call each other and we just scream at each other. I've always worked out on and off throughout my life, but just the videos just make it hard. But now I'm just sucking up and just being like, no, I don't care.
And this is the thing I think is important because like everyone wants to get in shape. They tend to make excuses like they don't have enough time.
Yeah.
But I literally feel like you literally don't have enough time.
I don't. It's
and
brutal.
you still do
I'm
it.
fucking dying. I like you can see bags in my eyes because I was working out like midnight last night. Like
Yeah.
some days like it's just a 15-hour film session. You know, I know Eric's gonna call me, and so I gotta get it in, or or I'm a loser. So it's whatever, but we're making it work. Me and him have been working out every.
how do you decide whether to take a movie to like a streaming service or to go like the conventional route?
It's really based on, do you think you have something big enough to get people out of the house, or you make the budget small enough that you're not going to hurt yourself. There was a time when a $50 million movie was a real thing for a studio. 100 to 300 is all that, you know, the major studios are making now. You mess with a $200 million movie and nobody has a job on Monday.
How do you decide what
Do everything you want to do. Try to make as much money as you want to make. Like, just exhaust the joy of this world. And you're going to have a really, really hard night one night. And you'll be laying there by yourself and nothing's going to mean anything to you. And then as you detox, you'll start to be able to look at your mind and realize the monsters in your mind. The same monster that made you climb and reach for those things is the monster that keeps you from being happy. Ecstasy isn't happiness. Peace is happiness. Do everything you want to do. Try to make as much money as you want to make. Like, just exhaust the joy.
How did it work with your boy?
So we were looking for a kid. Gabriele Muccino was the director. We just couldn't find the right chemistry. We literally read 40 kids. And, you know, so I'm laying in the bed. Jaden was laying in the bed one night, and I'm looking at the screenplay, and he's 5. He says, I can do that, Daddy. And I put him with Gabriele, and he read, and Gabriele teared up. But the studio felt like it was going to look like I was just putting my son in a movie, and they were like, please don't, that's going to kill him.
had he done any acting prior
Nothing.
to that? So that was his first
That was his first
of
thing.
any kind?
Of any kind, yeah.
No commercials.
Nothing.
Did it get competitive on set? Because he was good in that.
Yeah.
How did it work with you?
Trump officially got
Convicted, right?
convicted of all 34 counts.
Weren't they talking about like so scared Secret Service guys
Yeah.
being ready to like go in jail?
I think they know by now that him just getting charged or like even sentenced is not going to affect like him getting elected.
Like the
right?
public opinion.
If anything, it's just going to strengthen him. Like,
Right,
do they
right,
really
right.
just actually want him behind bars so he like physically cannot be president? Biden's commit crimes. Clinton's committed so many crimes.
Yeah.
God knows how many crimes the Clintons have committed. Trump officially.
What was it like working with Messi?
My boys? Wrong casa.
Yeah, Messi is fantastic. He doesn't do stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But it's so interesting when you see somebody who is like world class in the thing that they do, and then they get that little kid smile doing something. Like he loved being on the set. It was like a relief for him. He just loved playing in that world. So yeah, he's fun to watch.
What was it like working with Messi?
Called somebody out to an MMA fight.
Do you think that you could beat Logan in an MMA fight?
Yes. Well, I want to do an MMA fight.
Yeah, but
That's it.
now you're backtracking a little bit.
How am I
Because
backtracking?
this went from like a fun little event to like, now we got to get money involved, business plays.
I mean, I've said forever, like, I'm down to do it that way. I mean, I think after the 260 thing, it's just worth a lot more than just, like, if he wants to just scrap and just not film shit and actually do it and we talk about what happens after, fine. But I'm saying, like, I want to do something bigger than that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because, like, if I just busted on a, you know, like, we're busting on a YouTube vlog.
Called somebody out to an MMA fight.
Do you think that you
How have you seen the streaming affect sort of like movie rollouts now, like nowadays? Does it make it?
It's a great question. That's my question.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. My bad. I didn't know.
I mean, it was
He
stolen.
tends
You
to
asked
do
me
that.
before this. You said, yo, so what are you gonna ask?
Do you know what's
I
crazy?
gave
You gave
I
him
want
that.
You to know
You
that.
want to know what's
you
great
jumped
though?
in, yeah.
He said nothing, and we actually have it recorded. He said nothing. I
We'll
just
see the
asked the
intro.
question. What are you gonna ask Will Smith, dude?
You know how like streaming platforms now, there's not the same like box office Warner. It's like completely different. Like we look at Roadhouse. It just seems like the quality of movies has kind of gone down.
How have you seen the streaming affect sort of like movie rollouts now, like nowadays? Does it make it?
It's a great question. That's my question.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. All your movies, it was like Pursuit of Happiness, Aladdin, it's like 1.5 billion, like 800 million, all these like massive numbers.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing you'll ever see.
No, genuinely, bro, it's a legendary, like, you have the craziest run ever.
Yeah.
Like, did you always think that was gonna be your life?
During that time, it was like, you remember Jordan with the night he had 60 and he was just putting his shoulders up. It's like, I don't even feel like, I can't even take credit for that. It was like things just kept falling in place.
All your movies, it was like,
Best scene
Yeah.
in Bad Boys 2, just saying that real quick, is when Martin Lawrence's daughter's about to go on the date and you guys pull up to the door. Was that like improv or you guys ever?
It was all improv. His name is Dennis. So he was 15. He couldn't act. He wasn't an actor. He was chosen. He was just the perfect look. Michael Bay said, listen, this is this kid's first gig. I need you guys to help me get him ready off camera. So I need you guys to pretend like you're mad at each other. I go over and I introduce myself. So then Martin comes up and Martin says, he says, hey, Will, when we were rehearsing, you were kind of stepping on my lines. I said, Joker, get in where you fit in. And this kid is sitting there and he is like, oh no, Will and Martin are arguing. So we let the argument go. And he says, okay, let's shoot.
Yeah,
So when
he's
you
scared
see
as-
kid
you
on
see him.
camera, he's scared for real.
Best scene
Yeah.
in Bad Boys 2, just saying that real quick, is when Martin Lawrence's daughter's about to go on. Is there any role that you've turned down that you regretted?
Neo was the only one.
Oh shit.
that
whoa, you
yeah.
gonna be Neo?
It was going to be me and Val Kilmer was Morpheus.
Damn.
Yeah.
What the? You turned that down for?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the exact pitch they gave me. Yeah, bro. So what we're thinking is we're gonna design these cameras, right? So the cameras, it's not one camera, it's like 30 cameras, bro. And they'll be all in one line. And what'll happen is all the cameras will go at one time. So you'll be able to jump, but like you'll stop jumping. And I was
Bro, you're funny.
I swear that's
that
the
didn't
pitch
sell
I
me
got.
on that. I'm not doing that. I'm passing that too, bro. Yeah.
And then I saw it, I was like, oh, that's what actually happens. That's so cool.
Is there any role?
You guys think you'll continue with Impulsive for like a long time?
I think so, as long as he's able to make time in his schedule. We've got some.
It almost seems like Logan doesn't really need it anymore, obviously, right?
Got a kid on
Unless
the
he
way.
really enjoys it, obviously, but it's almost like he's definitely like almost graduated from it, right?
I think his like fervor for it has definitely slowed down a lot. I mean, listen, like that show, similarly to Milk, like in general, and like was built on friendship.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like built on a unbreakable bond between the people that sat on the show together. And when Logan was a PR,
You can't replicate that.
you
shit.
can't replicate it. And by the way, the audience will sniff it out.
You guys think you'll continue with Impulsive for like a long time?
I think so, as long as he's able to make time in his schedule. We've got some.
It almost seems like Logan doesn't really need it anymore, obviously, right?
Got a kid on
Unless
the
he
way.
really enjoys it, obviously, but it's almost like he's definitely like almost graduated from it, right?
What was the whole thing with George saying he didn't get paid, but he actually got paid? Because I saw he made that rebuttal, like sort
Yeah.
of TikTok.
George made $317,000 in the 15 months that he got paid for on Impulsive.
But yeah, George worked for a little while and didn't get paid. I worked for a little while and didn't get a percentage of the show.
Right.
Until we did, and then we started making great money. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
not only making great money, but also it's a spark for your career. Like I'm not Mike from the night shift. Sometimes I am, but for the most part, I'm Mike Malak, the co-host of Impulsive. Bro, that sets you up for life.
What was the whole thing with George saying he didn't get paid, but he